Mike, in the big picture, how important is it to you for Drake and some of the starters to play in the final preseason game, the field a game, or is the joint practices that you've experienced lessen the need for that?
I don't think we have a very deep team, Mike, so I think we have to make sure that we're preparing our football team and that we're doing everything that we can to keep our best players available. And if that means playing Thursday as part of preparation, then that's what we'll do. Have not made that decision yet, but I would say that that's something that I'm confident in with where we're set up currently.
Well, the plot thickens. So we hear Vrabel say, our depth is a mess. Then we look at this tweet from Shefty. The Patriots are sending Kayshon Boutte to the Texans in exchange for safety Jalen Reed and a 2028 7th round pick. I mean, that's one way to get depth as we welcome you in to Boston's Enter the Chat here inside our Salem 5 studios. Travis Thomas with the big dog, Nesson, Joe Murray, and the always wonderful Lucy Burge in the house. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. We thought when the A.J. Brown trade happened, Kayshon Boutte might get moved quick pass and in a hurry. Didn't quite happen that way. He said a lot of the right things. Patriots said a lot of the right things. And then today, boom, here we go. He's going to the Texans for, I'm going to use air quotes here, depth on defense. Let's talk about it. Get in here and talk about it with us. 617-582-CHAT. Your reactions to the trade.
Yeah, this is very interesting because on the heels of those Vrabel comments, this move, it says something. It says something about what this team is trying to do, who Vrabel was talking to.
Yeah, who's he talking to?
Who is he talking to, Joe, with those comments? Because he looked very serious making these comments. He sometimes jokes around. He was not joking at all.
Luce, have you noticed he's a little stressful this season so far? Do you think it's the offseason?
This is another thing.
You think it's the offseason?
I feel like there's something else. I don't know if there's something else coming. But he made that comment today, Mike Vrabel.
Something else coming?
I don't know. I don't know if something's coming out, but his demeanor seems to be different. I don't know if it has to do with the offseason. Maybe something else is coming. Ooh. Or does it have to do with how he feels about ownership and the moves that are being made and how the team is constructed? But he made a comment this morning in his weekly interview on WEI when he made a little joke about having low T when he was asked, "Are you ever satisfied?" And he said, I have low T.
Don't look at me. Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me in my eyes?
I can't look at her.
For him to make a comment like that after the offseason that he had is wild.
You didn't have to look me in my eyes, Joe.
He is making some wild comments. And that's just one of them. That's just one of them about their depth. How deep is this team?
Yeah.
How high is their T? The Kayshon Boutte move on the heels of this comment, it says something, Joe. I feel like this
I
says
hate
something.
the move. It's awful. Don't tell me that you have no depth and then trade your depth pieces away. And all right, there's a lot to break down.
Break it down, Joe.
All right, there's a lot to get into it. All right, Kayshon Boutte didn't play in the previous preseason game.
Yes.
They played Matt Collins in the first game. So I was curious maybe if they were debating if they should keep one or the other, and then maybe they just looked at it and said, maybe Matt Collins is better for the group because one might be a little upset if he's not getting as many targets.
Sure.
So I don't like moving on from a depth piece that was a starter, and I don't like sending somebody to a team that you may see in the playoffs. Oh, do I have to remind you guys, Kayshon Boutte has dominated the Texans the last 2 years and in the playoffs. So at this point, you just basically a guy who beat them, you gave them. You gave them that. They lost
Jacoby Myers all over again?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, go ahead. But, like, I just, to me, my first overall reaction is, like, I don't like this. You're just sitting here talking about depth. So now I'm starting to think about where those comments are about, which I'll get to in a second here. But they're sticking with Demario Douglas, who's been here for how long?
Yeah.
And Kyle Williams, who although had a touchdown.
He did. It looked good.
Still is learning, right? And then Efton Chisholm is probably your sixth wide receiver now. Just to me, I would rather Kayshon Boutte over any of those guys.
I would too. So what happened? Why? Like, Because we talked about it here. I said that to start the show. We all kind of felt like it would be Kayshon Boutte, the odd man out.
We talked about this I'm going to say months ago, but like a month or so ago, and I think we all said we think Kayshon Boutte will be here week 1 of this season, and he now will not be.
Did they get enough? It also sounds like you don't think they got enough.
I don't. So I don't know much about Jalen Reed. What I'll tell you is, guys, we all know the Texans are one of the best defenses in football last year.
Yes.
Yes.
And he played a role in it in 7 games, and he played in the playoffs. So maybe there's upside on him. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit here. They could probably add him to the safety mix. Maybe it helps Byard maybe play in the box like a linebacker.
So he's depth for that position.
Exactly. He is. No, he is. And maybe it helps him scheme-wise. Yeah, but early return, a 7th round pick in 2028.
Yeah.
By the way,
I saw that.
It just, to me, maybe we're reacting right away and we haven't really seen it all. But I just feel like they kind of gave him to somebody that they may see again. And what if he comes back to beat them?
Lucy, is it fair that they waited almost too long in the Kayshon Boutte sweepstakes? Like, in other words, maybe he played well enough last season where you trade him sooner. Now, you would gamble there because if you didn't get A.J. Brown, right? But they did, and we kind of talked about that too, that it felt like A.J. Brown was inevitable anyways.
Right.
Did they maybe wait too long to pull the trigger on the Kayshon Boutte move, and that's why the return isn't as good?
Maybe.
Or am I reaching?
I mean, it's possible. I feel like, did this move signal, though, they didn't see any value in him to the team now after coming into preseason, maybe thinking, oh, there's like it is strange. The timing is strange. Why now do they think he has no value to the team, and that this return has more value?
You say too late?
Yeah.
What if they waited another week and somebody else got hurt, somebody got cut, or something to that degree? So the timing's interesting, and I can only, guys, this is where I go with it. I get the sniffer out, I bring it out, and I say something doesn't smell right here.
Yeah. Something happened?
Well, I don't think something happened. I think what's happening is Christian Gonzalez.
Whoa.
Well, that's right.
And so, I worked that slug of a game the other night.
Yeah.
And on they interviewed Elliott Wolf during the game at halftime.
Okay.
And he said, I didn't like, the Eagles went, kind of drove right down our defense, and maybe we need to add some depth there. So he planted it at halftime.
Which they did add.
And then, right now, okay, fine.
Right.
And then in the press conference, when Mike Vrabel mentioned depth, the media people looked at it like, oh, is that a shot at Elliott Wolf or whatever? No, I think they're like on the same wavelength of this one.
They're agreeing rather than a shot.
Yeah, so if we keep following the breadcrumbs here, is that a shot, or is that trying to come together for ownership to spend a little bit more because they're lacking depth? Or are they trying to reach out to their superstar corner who has a contract offer when you're thinking ahead of Drake May or having a better team a better guy at linebacker or safety like they did today? Are they maybe leaning on the player to take a little bit less?
Oh, hell no.
Because it will help out the rest of your day.
You better be talking to ownership about spending more money on depth and other places to fill out your roster. They better leave Christian Gonzalez.
That would be
They should already have a deal.
So
the fact they doesn't have a deal is ridiculous.
Well, so that's what I'm trying to say. If you guys had to guess, if they're both in and on depth, is it an ownership conversation or is it trying to get less for the play?
Okay, how crazy would that be if Mike Vrabel is using the media to speak to Christian, a player's coach, Mike Vrabel. A former player is using the media to speak to one of his players and try to guilt them into taking less money?
Hell no.
I don't think Vrabel would ever do that.
Well, who was back at practice today?
Christian
Gonzalez.
I don't know, guys. Something doesn't smell right.
Maybe it's a coincidence.
Oh, so it's a coincidence.
Yes. Okay, but if Christian Gonzalez is back at practice, doesn't that signal that maybe a deal is close?
Yes, and here's the other thing. The Boutte trade, they're going to save, and guys, it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're going to save $1 million or so dollars.
Something. Yeah.
Could that $1 million or so dollars now move the needle in Christian Gonzalez?
Yes, which is why I said you should have traded Boutte a while ago. You probably could have got a better return.
He didn't make a lot, but But yeah, I mean,
It frees up some money.
but if it's being more than Witherspoon, it's probably the difference.
And Joe, you are talking about driving a Brinks truck to Christian Gonzalez's residence. He's going to get all the money in the world. So you have to make the room to make that happen. I have to think this was a message from Vrabel and Wolf to ownership to spend the money, period. Get Gonzalez taken care of. Fill out the roster. Don't be cheap. Take care of Drake May when it's his time.
Oh, kind of like we'll make this move here, hoping you'll make this move
Hoping you'll
there.
do right.
Okay.
But
all right.
Don't let me tell it. Vrabel, Lucy brought this up. Vrabel was on his weekly hit on Greg Hill today. Shout outs to him. He kind of walked back his comments a little bit. Take a listen.
A lot of people's attention was you post-game talking about the lack of depth on this team, and I know you did it in regard to your thoughts about the starters not playing. But is that kind of a not so subtle message to the front office about, hey, we need some work,
No,
guys?
I mean, we are the front office. You know what I mean? Like, we're all making
You are
the
the front
decisions.
office, yeah.
I'm just saying, we're all included in this. No, it was about the young guys that we have to develop. And you could see that the players that we kept out of the game, those are the guys. And then we have to be able to find some guys behind them to be backups, be first guy in, and be the third outside linebacker, be the third inside linebacker, be the sixth offensive lineman. These things that are so critical, be the third safety. And so those are the things that we're trying to develop. And I guess that's what I was referencing. If I can walk back, and I've already talked to Elliot this morning. I mean, these aren't issues that there's not. I'm not in a subtle comments.
Yeah.
That wasn't that. It was just they asked why we didn't play the guys, and we got to have everybody that we have available, and then continue to develop and see some guys that went out and played like they did on Saturday night.
I'm even more confused now when he tried to clear it up. It felt like he was walking it back to me. I'm curious what you all think. 617-582-CHAT. Joe, you have the snipper out anyways. You hear that. Does it change what you think?
Doesn't change what I think, but I will give you guys a couple of examples last year. When the Patriots lost their first two games, they weren't moving the ball on offense well. And we know that Josh McDaniels is known to having some secret plays, but he basically made some comments last year like, hey, you can only do that play so many times, or it only works so many times. We all thought it was a shot at McDaniels, right?
Right.
But I think it's the way that this guy works, right? Yeah. He's always trying to get in your head, or is that about me? And then, but really he walks it back.
Yep.
In the end, the other thing I'll say about listening to that there, because I didn't hear it this morning, but listening to that, maybe the guys who want to be starters who didn't play, like maybe Kayshon Boutte went to him again and said, hey guys, I want to be a starter. And, I know I asked for the no trade over the summer. Is there an opportunity? And if there is, this might be a good time. And I don't know, maybe that's what it's about. Maybe he thinks he should be a starter, and that's why they want to move.
Luce, you're with me, and that Vrabel seems like he's going through a lot.
Okay.
What do you make of those comments?
Does he look stressed?
Okay, can we get into this a little bit?
Maybe I'm reading into it, and maybe it is absolutely nothing. His interviews on that show, which we do say the name of. They maybe don't say the name of this one, but we would say the name of theirs, the Greg Hill Show.
I gave him a shout out.
Thank you. Maybe, yeah. So anyway, he generally looks a little bit relaxed.
Yeah.
This one, he looked pretty
did.
stressed. He looked a little bit on edge.
It's tense.
He was mad during the game.
He's mad.
Yeah.
He was crushing Kyle Williams for not
mad.
coming back on a ball.
Something is up. It feels like something is up. And my initial thought with just not even thinking about anything else, the depth comment, was to fire up the team or something, or he is now getting ahead of any kind of complacency, because they talked about, are you ever satisfied with anything? He was asked about Drake May's performance, and but Drake May had a good performance, and he said to Courtney, what was good about it? He didn't agree. He said, what was good about it?
He called the timeout. The Eagles drove right down the field, literally right down the field.
Yeah.
He just called the timeout and didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
He just let them stay out there and stew. So, and to Lucy's point, in the second half, they did show different fight.
Yeah.
I bet you that was an ugly halftime situation with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
But last year was considered an easy camp. Is it because they're off the loss and some of his personal stuff?
Maybe.
I wonder, so I thought the personal stuff was done. I feel like that's done and we're past it. But taking that into consideration, when you watch him there, it's kind of hard not to think about it. Like something is going on.
Yeah.
He just looks so stressed, and it's like, just relax. Like, you have a good football team, and it just feels like the attitude that he is bringing into this preseason and talking about like the low T thing that he mentioned, and then the what was good about Drake May's performance. It's different than what we've seen in the past where he is defending his players.
Yes.
And this time it's like that was a strange response to
I would
that.
agree, and I think he seems a little more agitated.
Yeah.
Not combative, that's too strong.
Agitated,
but
I think is what
agitated
it
during
is.
press conferences
Yeah.
and media availability, where last season he was transparent, he would answer questions. He wasn't a grump.
They were
He seems
winning.
very grump. They were winning.
Winning's the best deodorant.
And he was new, right? Like, I don't know. I look at this a little bit like, we see, okay, he's doing the counseling thing. He misses the draft for that.
Right, that was
and
part
all
of it.
that. And then in what we do for a living, it's like things just go away and we're on to the next story. He has to go home.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know what's going on now.
I will say, though, after the game when he said depth pieces, this isn't about Belichick's drafting or when Gerard Mayo was here, because, again, he did miss that third day, right? That was a pretty important day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Kind
he
of
should have been
important.
there.
That's
So
why we have the
I
draft
just
as
don't want to hear him complain about the depth. I'm sorry. You know what?
That's a good point, Joe.
And I'm just saying the facts here.
Yeah.
He does, to answer your question, though, he does look a little more
Stress.
intense.
Yes.
Tense.
He looks
He's
tense.
tense.
His face looks like he's just
He's
like
tense.
something is going on. You can tell when someone is stressed, and it looks like that there. But the thing about him using the word depth and kind of parroting what Elliot Wolf said, if he is sending a message to ownership, sure. But if you are one of his players and you hear him say that, don't you kind of feel like, wait, are we not good? Is this not a good enough team?
No, but you know what, though? The team might need that, Lucy.
That was my
that's where
initial
you're going.
thought.
These guys are off for Super Bowl.
That
and
was
all
my initial
that,
thought.
and nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
But just when I mentioned the lean on the player, like you said, what does the player think?
Yep.
It just found it funny that like they were talking about depth, and it's just this guy wants all the money, market money, and the Patriots don't generally do that. Mm-hmm. That's why I think maybe it's him sending a message to Gonzalez. Like, hey, man, we need you on the
I hate that.
See,
field.
that would be a
You're going to get your money. We're going to take care of you, but we really need you on the field. So sounds like maybe they are close, but it sounds like the Patriots have made a solid offer. And maybe Gonzalez just isn't taking it, but he's out there today. So
Yeah, but that would also be so different from the way Vrabel has handled things in the past, where he keeps things internal, especially when it comes to his players.
Sure.
Because he protects his players above everything.
Now he's out.
And and also Christian Gonzalez said he doesn't want to do this publicly at all.
That's right.
When Robert Kraft
And
made
Kraft
those comments.
already did.
I just find it hard to believe that Vrabel would
I do
do
too.
that to
But
Christian
now he's
Gonzalez.
got the pressure from the owner, Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Now
that's
he's got
true.
pressure from
the
maybe
coach.
Wolf and
Yeah.
the coach.
Maybe.
Where at some point it's like, hey, man, winning's more. They did this to Brady, dude.
I know,
They
but
did it to
Joe, the
Brady.
market is the market for this
I know.
kid. It'd be different if it was just a Wild Wild West. It's not. There's a structure. There's a cap. Hey, when this guy gets paid this, if you're considered a better player or drafted above him, you get, even if it's $1, like Price is Right, but you get more than
You're
it.
not wrong, but just don't forget they're gonna do this to Drake May too.
Oh my gosh.
They're
I
gonna say,
can't wait.
Drake, how much money do you really need, man? We got
Oh
mean,
my
honestly,
God.
we got to get the backup, linebacker out there.
And
Meanwhile-
Michael May deserves the most
Yes.
extravagant
Yes,
lifestyle that you can imagine.
But all I'm trying to
Pay
say
the
is
guy.
this is
what they do.
it's what they do.
Meanwhile, these valuations for these NFL franchises go up and up and up by the billions. B with a B, 617-582-CHAT. I do want to ask you this before we go to break. So now that Kayshon Boutte is gone, let's bring it back full circle here. Kyle Williams, I know you worked the game. I mean, he had a monster touchdown in the game. Should we all sleep a little better? I mean, I'm not acting like Kayshon Boutte was Jerry Rice here, but this kid starting to develop certainly can help quell losing a Kayshon Boutte, right?
Yes, I think he's got a lot of skill, but the rapport with Drake May is something he doesn't have.
Right.
He did score a couple touchdowns last year. The speed's there. He's got something on the roster that they don't have, and they basically chose Kyle Williams over Boutte today. And I want the people to listen, though. The real move that they made was Dobbs over Boutte. That was the real move.
Yeah.
So, last year Boutte was the starter.
Right.
Dobbs is going to be the starter this year.
Which is an upgrade.
25 more catches, 200 more yards.
Bigger,
and has played in an offense where many guys catch the ball.
That's right.
So, realistically, they are thinking about their depth and their future with Kyle Williams.
Okay.
But the guy that's replacing Boutte is Romeo Doubs.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. But also, if they are set in that area, shouldn't Vrabel maybe be sleeping better at night? It looks like he's not.
I don't think it's football. I don't.
It
I think
feels like he's
I don't think it's football.
I'll just say this. That game was horrible the other night.
Oh, it was
The second quarter was guys, was an hour long.
the whole time. The whole time, I was thinking of you, but I was thinking of Travis saying there should be no preseason football.
They
This
should just have
kind
a
of
running
made the
clock.
case. Yeah.
Just a running. No, dude, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was.
So you would say that half had low T?
It had a lot of low T. And you know what? Thankfully, you got a good moment. Baron Morton's throwing a touchdown to DeGeneiro, who I'm going to be honest with you. I during the game, I go, hey, who's number 23? Who's all game long? Who's
never heard of him.
I never heard of that guy in my life.
Yeah.
And I had to look it up. He went to James Madison, was a stud.
Shout out to James Madison.
But all game long, I'm like, who's 23?
Yeah.
And then I saw Baron Morton punting, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So when I tell you this was one of the worst games I ever watched in my life, I've watched some bad MAC football games.
Joe's seen a lot of bad games.
This thing was everybody after that one might have been like, maybe we shouldn't play the third game.
Honestly.
And actually, that's what they said. That's why Vrabel was so bad.
That's what he said.
He said, I don't know how to play any of these guys.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of the preseason.
Who wants to go to Cleveland on a Thursday night?
Oh, like Cleveland doesn't have enough problems right now with their quarterback
Oh,
issue.
boy.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother chat. When we come back on this particular chat, we're going to make fun of Raphael Devers. Hold our brooms for us. Soccer Net on Boston's Enter the Chat.